guys think, or how do you feel about the weather, or not the weather? How do you feel about the time change? What?
I'm very happy about it because
Wait, why did you laugh?
I just like get in front of the mic and I start acting stupid, and it's because of the coffee. Okay, all right. So the time change, it's been great for me. This is how my body works, and I finally realized that the reason I like fall so much is because of the time change.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's winter, but this is my favorite time of the year, and that's why. Because I get extra sleep. I I go to bed earlier because it's like I'm my better self.
Your body shuts down. You don't have the vitamin D pumping in you. Your melatonin starts producing, and your body's like, I'm ready to go to sleep.
Like I said, that's my natural state.
Vampire.
What do you think, Hunter? Do you like the weather or not? I keep calling it weather.
I like it, like, now, but, like, I'm not going to miss it, you know? Like, I love
It's been
change.
2 days, man.
I know, but I like
not 2 days,
change, but, like, I was getting tired of the hot weather and the sweating and
with
all
the
of a
time
sudden-
change, not the weather. I keep saying weather, but, like, what do you think about the time change?
time change. I don't know. I find myself doing things a lot earlier than I expected.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah.
You
like-
wake up, it's bright outside. You're like, I'm ready to start the
Well,
day.
definitely not that. If you think about it, you wake up earlier, too.
No.
So, like, yeah, because did the time go forward or backwards?
Fall back.
Yeah. So it went backwards. So.
But you adjust, and it's the same thing. You don't wake up earlier. You wake up at 6 a.m. no matter what.
Yeah, but my body still wakes up earlier than that. Like, not earlier. Like I've been having trouble waking up because of like the rhythm, circadian rhythm or whatever.
Well, yeah, but 2 weeks from now, that won't be a problem.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is, I'm in reference to time zone. I guess I'd like fall back better than, spring forward because.
You get that extra hour of sleep.
Yeah.
Or what you see, what you think is
the
an
one
extra
day
hour.
you actually get the extra hour.
Yeah,
Dude,
but
it's still
that-
I still feel it.
Yeah.
It just I don't
that
know.
and also like doing like what I was like the other day. I came home. Me and my girlfriend cooked food and we sit down and watched the movie. Usually it's like 9-10 o'clock when that happens, and then I have to go to bed. But,
Exactly.
This time it was like 8 o'clock, and I still had a
Yeah.
lot of time left.
You start settling down for the day, like the night, a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's dark.
Yeah, because it's dark outside.
Dude, I'm a creature at the night. I absolutely love this time change. Like, I wish it was like this year round. I wish it got dark at 5 or 6 o'clock year round.
Yeah. I hear you.
And like, I know so many people who are the complete opposite. Like, they like the long days, so they feel like they can get a lot more done. And I don't.
I always felt really, really tired at the long days.
This day feels longer to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, you want to get your phone off the table, bro?
So, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean, I'm not a night person, but I do get some of my best work done like early in the afternoon. So
Yeah.
like maybe around like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
But like I like to go to sleep early because I don't do well with like not a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
just
think
like,
it works for me.
I like the mornings too, because I really love mornings.
Yeah,
I'm
me
a
too.
morning person, and when I wake up and it's bright outside, it feels right.
Yeah, I hear you. What?
I don't know. I literally had something in mind to say, and I have no idea.
What?
You hear that?
Dude, it was like my voice correcting. We were all over the place today.
Sounded like a fart. That's what it sounded like. It was like,
It
That's what
did
it
sound
is.
like that.
yeah. Okay.
So, I don't know when this episode is going to come out, but it could be like a month or two after time change.
That's true. Yeah.
So, time just changed for us.
Well, we can just like plan ahead for next time change. Get ready.
Well, like even the podcast, like we're looking outside, and it's literally usually still bright outside when we start recording.
Yeah. That's different.
Well,
I know-
it is 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Hey, we usually start at 6. So just saying.
Yeah, I know, but
Is it 7?
Yeah.
Dude, what the heck? No, it's 6. You haven't changed your clock yet.
Dude. That blew my mind.
so I actually didn't even know. I literally didn't even know time was changing. The way I figured it out
Nice.
was I got in bed and I set my alarm, and I thought I was getting like 6.5 hours of sleep, and my phone said 7.5 hours till my alarm, and I was like, oh my god,
Dude, that's the best feeling.
But it's even compounded because of how much I love it. It's like I wasn't even caring about the extra hour of sleep. I was just like, the time of year has come. I love November. My birthday's in November. Thanksgiving's in November. Christmas is coming up.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's just the best time of year.
I hear you, man. And Thanksgiving, dude, don't forget that.
That's what, I already said that. Dude.
You did? I didn't hear you say Thanksgiving.
It's actually really hot up here.
Yeah.
I turned it off because like it's cold outside. I figured it would. I don't know, man. I hate this. This is like this upstairs and my upstairs work off the same thermostat, but it's a totally different temperature. It's weird. I don't know. I like it cold, and I have it on I'll put it on like 67 over there, and you'll come up here and it'll be burning up.
I'm happy for it to be warm tonight. Like normally I'm like it's hot outside, but tonight it's cold. So.
Yeah, man. I just love it. I could just sit here and talk for hours about how much I love like the cold weather and.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Like it just makes me happy. When it's hot outside, I hate being outside
dude, me too.
with a passion. Like
when I sweat, I just get pissed off.
I don't even like walking from my door to my car. 5 seconds, I was like, I can't stand it.
I hear you, man. That's why you said you were gonna move to Washington. I want to move to like Canada.
Dude, I mean, to be realistic,
Zealand.
I would rather move to Canada than Washington.
Yeah.
I love Canada.
Dude, I've been to Canada once, and it didn't like blow me away because I'm like, this is just America.
Yeah.
But it was great. Like
I've been to Canada once too, but I've seen so much, especially like British Columbia. I'm like,
yeah,
like on the internet.
Well,
I'm like, dude.
You know what? If there's any Canadian listeners listening, I really appreciated some of the cities. Like,
yeah.
Well, I want to live there.
Toronto.
Yeah, I think I would want to live in Toronto. I just want to be a Canadian. Like,
I know. I
feel like they're respected on a different level than Americans. I saw this video the other day, and it was on Reddit. I can't remember what the subreddit was, but this dude. So it was a motorcycle with a head cam on, and he was just riding down the road, and this dude like pulled out in front of him, and about to be a bad wreck. Well, the guy that accidentally pulled out like pulled over and like got out of his car, and the motorcycle turned around, and it's like, you know, you're thinking, oh
sorry.
God, it's like, oh no, you're thinking this is about to be a bad, but the guy's like, yeah, dude, I'm so sorry, like I pulled out, I was going too fast, that was all my fault, and like. It was an American thing, but like everybody in the comments was like, "This is what Canadian road rage looks like."
Yeah.
That
Okay.
reminds me of the Anchorman when Jim Carrey comes on. Sorry.
I love that movie. But let's talk about road rage real quick because I have a confession to make.
I know you have road rage. I can tell.
Yeah, and it's getting worse. Like last night, if this is you, I'm sorry, but you were driving slow in 35, and by slow I mean like 40. That's slow to me.
In a 35?
Yeah.
Wait, in a 35 mile per hour zone,
He was driving 40,
and you were mad about
and
that.
it was getting on my nerves.
What's wrong with you?
Well, I was like less than a mile from home, and I'm like, it was 9 o'clock at night. I'd been at school for like 14 hours, and I'm like, I want to be home. And then he pulls off, and instead of just pulling off, like merging off, he just slows down real slow, just pissed me off. And then I try to go around him, and he brake checks me. And I literally got home, sat in my room, and thought about that for like an hour and a half, just being pissed. And like that's the epitome of road rage, and it doesn't end there. Like I feel like I've been doing a little better, even though I said I was doing worse. But like it's getting worse in that like
It's probably
I keep
something to
doing
do with
it.
your patience.
I don't know.
Dude,
It's just because I have to
definitely
drive so
patience.
much. I have to commute to school, and it's a
Because
pain.
Lauren is the same way. She drives like I don't know.
Yeah,
She drives really fast.
yeah.
So but she'll
Well, I
He's
don't drive
aggressive.
fast though. I never go 9 over the speed limit, but like I like to sit at 9 over
yeah.
the speed limit. You know.
But you get like agitated when somebody's in front of you. Right?
Yeah, very. Especially on 1-lane roads when you can't do anything about it.
Dude, I'm like the total complete opposite. I drive like a grandpa. I mean, I drive the speed limit. I never go into the speed limit, and I drive like 5 over. But I'm so chill. I don't think I've ever had a spout of like legit road rage. I'm just like,
Be thankful, man.
I just feel like really understanding of what people are doing. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
'Cause
See, I got
get-
in my car. Here, let me just say this real quick before I
Okay.
forget. I got last night. I got into my room and I felt bad about it. And I was instead of being pissed at him, I was pissed at myself for acting that way. And yeah, that's all.
Well,
I
see,
say.
like I'll get mad at like Mackenzie has bad road rage, and we'll be on the phone while she's in the car, and she's just like saying what I'm like. It just makes me mad for some reason. I'm like, you don't know what situation that person's in.
I know.
And usually, like, if I ever pass somebody, it's because they're an elderly person, and I'm totally fine with an elderly person driving 10 below the speed limit because I would rather them drive slow than try to drive fast.
Good point.
And I don't know, man. Like, people could be having a bad day, having car trouble. I don't know. I just tend to think about those things. I'm not like trying to like, oh, I'm better than everybody else because I don't have road rage. But like, I can't like understand road rage because I don't have it.
Yeah. Well, I had a solution like 2 years ago. I was like, okay, me driving like this, I'd be embarrassed if like I pull up and it's somebody I know, or like it's somebody from church, and like, or even worse, it's somebody that doesn't go to church and that knows me. Like, I want to be a good example everywhere. And then, my idea was to put a bunch of like Jesus stickers on the back, and then I have that accountability. So if I drive bad, then I have to answer to God, which I already do. But like,
gonna be like, yeah, dadgum Christian.
Yeah, like if I do that, then I'm just being that person that's being a horrible example. And
I used to think that was a thing, but like, so I used to have an ichthus on the back of my car, and now I don't, and I don't feel like, I'm not like, ooh, I don't have a Christian fish on my car anymore. I don't have to be a good boy. Like,
yeah,
it's actually not really, it doesn't really affect you. But
the reason I didn't do it is because I knew I'd put it on there and then forget about it, and it would defeat the purpose.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, one last thing for this road rage thing. There's this guy, and I was sitting at a stoplight, and he pulls up behind me, and the second the light turns green, he honks at me. And so
man,
dude, it pissed me off. So I kind of hit my brake after he does it, and beep at him, and then we pull up to the next stoplight right next to each other, and so I just stare over at him, and I'm like just give him that look, like, yeah, I know what you did, but like, it was rude. Like, even what he did, what I did was rude. And then, okay, we were going to church. We both pulled into the same church.
Oh wow,
dude, I literally wanted to crawl in a hole and die. And I don't know why I don't learn the lesson. Like, when stuff like that happens, that should be like the kind of thing that just shocks you into doing the right thing and being a good driver that is empathetic. You know
what gets me not acting like that?
What?
When I'm riding with other people and they're acting like that, and I'm just sitting in the car like, oh my God, is this person gonna go crazy?
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Like, I'm literally like, I'm like one of those mouses that, like, in a hole that knows the cat's right outside of that hole. He's just frozen. He's like, oh God, he's right out there. I gotta be quiet.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel.
That's a good point.
When I'm riding with somebody like that. And so I always try to drive, like, if I was next to myself, I would drive to where I would feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into our main topic here. Something we need to remember to do, like 5 minutes into the episode, is say, my name's Clayton. This is my voice. If you hear my voice, this is Clayton.
All right. My name's Clayton. If you hear my voice. Am I doing it right? I'm just kidding. All right. My name's Sid. Sid Warren.
Sid the kid.
This is my voice.
All right.
Hunter.
I realized last week, me and Sid were like, hey, this is me, this is Clayton, this is Sid. And then, like, I cut you off and didn't let you say anything. So nobody knows who you are.
This is Hunter, and this is my voice.
Nice.
Okay. Whatever. We'll leave it at that. So our main topic for this week is going to be social media. And
social media.
Kind of what we think about it, how it affects us. I don't know. It's just a cool general topic, I think.
Yeah.
To talk about. I mean, I think we've talked about it in passing a few times, but like, I wanted to dedicate an entire episode to.
Yeah. I mean, my only interest in social media lie in business, because I despise social media for personal use. I just, like, I'm in business school right now, so I see the value it brings to, like, business. Like, basically I have to have social media. But for me, I've gotten to the point where I don't like it. But I still have an Instagram, and I still scroll. I just don't post anything anymore.
I think that's interesting that you bring that up, because I'm kind of the same way, or I used to be the same way, of like, social media is only good for business, and I mean that's what it was created for in the first place. Facebook was created not for business, but anyways. But the more, so like, I'm in a social media class right now, and I'm having to post weekly and whatever, and it feels like business because it's like a requirement thing. But it's actually like opened me up to actually posting, like, and wanting to do it personally, because then you find out like how important a personal brand is just in like today's society. Like, even if you don't want to have anything to do with like social media as a career, like having personal brand built can like help you get a job, and no matter like what industry you're in. So,
Yeah, that's a good point.
so I think I like the reason I wanted to have this topic is because like my views of social media over the past like 3 months have like taken a 180 turn.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I can't even let myself post anymore just because I feel like I'm being so superficial, and so I just stop myself before I even start. But I don't know why I do that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just like afraid to like even post anymore because I just don't want people to look at that and like judge it. I don't feel like it's an insecure thing.
Yeah.
I just feel like
Same here.
I don't know. I can't put it into words.
Hunter, how do you interact with social media, man?
Well, right now I'm looking at it and I'm just like disappointed because like all you see nowadays is just this. Like random things I did like I don't follow, and then
Ads.
Yeah,
all
that's true.
ads. And then if I'm not like I like this, a Fallout ad. Like I don't even own an Xbox One, and it's just like
Yeah. And
So you dislike social media because there's ads on it now?
no, like I used to love it a lot more, but now I don't even want to look at it because I'm just like, well, honestly, it's to the point where every other like picture is an ad, and then after that, it's like, why am I on here if every other picture is an ad? And the pictures that I do want to look at, it's just of other people that I really don't see often now. Now that I'm in the real world, it's just people I used to know. But I guess it's like keeping up with the Joneses is what I think of Instagram now.
yeah.
Like, oh, they posted a picture of them getting married. That sends an idea to your brain saying maybe I should get married, or like it's like a wildfire because girls, they're obsessed with Instagram now. Because like when one girl does a proposal, then like a week later you see like 10 other people are proposing to people, and it's just like a wildfire.
Yeah.
And it's just like.
And that's why I don't like social media. But I mean, I just was ignoring the positives. Like with Clayton, you know, sometimes a company wants to hire somebody that has some relevance because that's a marketing move in and of itself.
Yeah.
If you have two equal people and you hire the one that has 3,000 followers, you're getting a huge boost because you know they're going to be like, hey, I just got a new job at Microsoft.
Well, that's the good thing
whatever,
about it.
you know?
But also it's a bad thing because like some people have a lot of followers because they like cheated the system kind of. Like there's one person that gets a lot of followers because that person's like cool and interesting. I'm gonna go follow him because you see him on like the Discover thing and they're like doing something cool in like a different country. And then you follow them and you like all their pictures because you want to do that like somehow in the future or whatever. You like dream of doing that. But there's other people that are constantly like following people, and then like they follow like 15,000 people, and then usually like you get people that follow you back. So out of 15,000, like 5,000 follow you back. Boom, you're already up at 5,000.
But it's a self-correcting system. If you follow that person because they followed you and then they don't post any interesting content, you can just unfollow them.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying like most of the time, I mean I don't even pay attention to all that anymore either way. Like I don't look at who I'm following or unfollowing because I'm to the point where like I got so many people like I'm not posting or anything. I just got like too many to like look at and see who's following me, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend the time to just scroll through all that. And so, but I also like agree with the whole business aspect of it. Like now they've like updated it now to where you can have like 3 different Instagrams, right? And they're all connected to each other, like a personal and then like 2 businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually thought about doing like a business kind of thing when my girlfriend gets out of school. We were thinking about doing like she was doing like clothes and something else, like clothes and wine, and I was thinking about doing like guns and hunting and or something like, you know, that would target an audience, you know, and then that would be connected to our personal pages, but we would try to like boost that and try to get I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying, right? Yeah, like
I think we can like figure social media out and like find a place in our lives for it when we think about it as a tool and not as like entertainment. When you look at it as a tool, you're right. You can actually turn your friends and family into a potential market, and they're going to want to support you instead of being like, oh, okay, I want these people to think I'm cool, let me post this. That's what burnt me out of social media, because I look back and remember a time when, you know, but like kind of before I kind of quote unquote quit social media, quit posting basically. And this is probably like my early middle teens. And I was like literally got an app that gave me more followers. And like, that's what it was about to me. And then I didn't get like, I wanted more likes. And then I just kind of like, I just got fed up with it. And now that's what's keeping me away from social media. Cause I'm like, that's what I remember. And I got to get past that because that's not what it's about. Like, it's not about how many likes you get. It's about, you know, kind of like it's almost like a tool. Like it can be for you, it can be a journal,
Yeah.
a photo journal, or it can be a business tool, or like you just got to use it for your purposes. But if it's not being constructive, I guess, then you don't use
What
it.
I used it for in college is when I got a GoPro, like I was all into filming, and that's what I
Yeah.
just put. But the only problem was it was like 15 seconds, so I had to edit for like 3 hours
Yeah.
my GoPro videos.
You'd have an easier time now.
Yeah, now they're like a minute long, so it's like
Yeah.
perfect, you know. But like that's what I was really into, is like posting like videos and like stuff like that, and they were only getting like 15 likes, maybe 20, and then when my followers, you know, went up, it would be like proportional to likes, you know.
Yeah.
So
I think it would be a really cool function of Instagram or Twitter or whatever to be able to not turn off your likes, like people still like it, but like turn off you being able to see that.
Yeah.
Because I think a benefit, like, don't necessarily post because you're trying to make yourself be cooler, but if your Instagram is reflective of who you are, that could be a good thing. It could make you want to do more cool things. It could make you want to branch out. Like, if you take it in a positive aspect like that and say, like, I want to, like, go take a cool picture, so I'm going to go on a hike this weekend and, like, try to become a cooler person because I want to look cool online. Like, that's not a bad thing necessarily, unless you tie your identity up in it where, like, oh crap, I only got 10 likes. So
Yeah.
if you couldn't see the likes and you were just like posting cool pictures, like that would like change the game.
yeah, but the problem is everyone's doing that. Like, everyone's climbing that mountain just to get that picture. So then you get like 50 people up on top of a mountain just taking pictures of the scenery, and then, oh, I got my picture, I'm gone. But there's occasionally like people like, you know, like maybe you that want to get that picture, but you're not just getting the picture, you're wanting to actually enjoy the scenery and hike and like have fun.
Yeah.
And you like were there, so like, oh, I'll take this beautiful picture.
But even if, like, I'm not trying to encourage you just go on a hike to take a cool picture. Like, even if you do that, even if you go on a 2-mile hike to take a cool picture at a waterfall, you've still done that. It's not, you can't, that experience is not taken away from you just because you did it simply because of an Instagram post.
Yeah.
I think some of the really big influencers on Instagram, like, have been really pressured and pushed into, like, becoming cool and interesting people because they have to be, which, I mean, I think that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
I just think taking it and looking at everything in a positive light really can change your perspective on how social media works.
Yeah. I really like coming at it from a positive angle because I've really like consistently been negative about social media, and this is good for me because I need to think about it differently because it is a tool and it's the way of the future, you know. It's like, I don't want to be that grumpy old guy that says, I'm not getting in one of them cars. You know, like back when Ford first like made the Model T, like,
Yeah.
you know, I want to be the guy that says, oh, yeah, I'll drive a car. Like, it'll get me somewhere a lot quicker. I don't have to walk or take a horse.
I think something that I did really early on, like back when MySpace was a thing and like back right when I got my Facebook, I don't think I really cared how many followers I had, and I didn't really care how many likes I had. I would post these like really funny status updates. Like, for some reason I remember this one like it was yesterday. I posted a status that said, I renamed my iPod the Titanic so that when I'm putting music on it, it says the Titanic is sinking. And like,
That's great.
I would like look up blogs and like funny Facebook posts or whatever, but like, it wasn't about how many likes I got. It wasn't about gaining followers. For me, it was just like, I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And I don't care if 10 people or 100 people think it's funny. Like,
Yeah.
it's a positive thing. Like, put this joke out there, it's going to lighten somebody's day. Like, even if it's only one person. So,
Yeah.
like, that's the thing. If you're posting on Instagram and you're trying to be an influencer or you're trying to, like, get a lot of followers, don't think about that. Just think about this post could make someone have a better day. It could positively impact somebody's life. And if you only get one person, you're good.
Yeah. What about like regular people that aren't trying to like influence? Like, what are the ways that social media can enrich their lives and not detract from it? Because I know a lot of people have a problem with it where it probably does detract from
And
the quality of
that's
their
the weird
life.
thing, because like I don't view I've never viewed social media. I just view social media differently, because like when I post on Instagram now, I'm like, it'd be really cool if I had 1,000 followers that I'd never met, like from all across the United States. Like when it comes to connecting with people I actually know, I would much rather do it in person.
Yeah, me too.
So like I don't know how to answer that question. Like I guess we can try to answer that question here. Like how do you use social media in your localized setting as a positive thing?
Yeah. I mean, I guess from a faith standpoint, just like, when you meet somebody, like people exchange business cards, exchange that, and then you can post faith-based things and be a good witness.
Oh, we're talking about business. It's super easy to get yourself out there with social media.
Yeah.
Because it's like a huge internet-connected web. You go to one person, they have 15 followers that you don't follow. Boom, that's 15 people you didn't follow but now do, and those 15 have 15. It just multiplies.
I mean, you can literally directly contact the CEO of a company you're trying to apply to. Like that's kind of powerful.
I think that's the most interesting thing about social media to me, is the direct contact with huge influencers, where you can DM them, you can tweet at them, or whatever on Instagram, and it opens up connection that was never possible.
Yeah.
Like the DM in general, because like before that was a thing, how did you get in contact with these people? You couldn't really do it. You don't have their phone number, you don't have their email address. I just think that's really cool.
Yeah.
But I think when we're talking about how to look at it, if you're just trying to use social media like locally and you're not trying to be an influencer or whatever, I think I don't look at it that way, because what social media is doing for the planet is creating this world culture, and it's bringing everybody together. Like I can connect with somebody in Asia, I can connect with somebody in Germany. Like what social media is for me is it's taking me out of my little small town.
Yeah.
And that's how I view social media, because I think it's awesome that it's making the world a smaller place.
Yeah. I guess the way I've been looking at it is kind of counterintuitive, because it's redundant to have your circle of friends and family and then also have them on social media, and it defeats the purpose of social media.
Yep.
But I think that's the way a lot of people use it, and that might be why I see it as negative, and why a lot of people see it and are negatively affected by it, because they're using it that way.
Yep.
I just feel like social media to me, like, I don't really care about Facebook or Instagram. I'll use those. I don't have a problem with those, but like Twitter, like here lately in the past couple of years, it's just like becoming a tool for like getting your aggression out, putting your ideas out. Sometimes they're not necessarily good. Like, look at like the president. I mean,
Yeah.
have you seen his tweets? Like, most of them are pretty bad, but I mean, like,
that's an example of how not to use
but like
social media.
there's other people like that I can say, like think about people in a small town like that use Facebook. Like small towns use Facebook, they don't use Twitter. But like when it comes to like, reaching a ton of people, it's usually Twitter. But my point is, like, there's a lot of the like, oh, this is how I feel today, I'm gonna post this, and they don't really like think about what they're saying and how it could affect other people. And like that brings me to like the trolling of social media, and like the comments of the negative comments, and then people that like just are on there to piss other people off. Yeah. So like that's the one thing I don't like.
I think the only way to get past that is to ignore it completely and totally.
Well, yeah, you have to, or you'll just be succumbed.
But even
to it all.
when having the conversation about social media in general, that's not even necessarily a topic that needs to be brought up. I mean, yeah, we can talk about it here, but unless people will just ignore it, it's always going to be a thing. So even talk about it on this podcast, which I don't have a problem with, acknowledging its existence is like almost encouraging it as a thing. I don't know, it's weird, because I know I follow so many people, I'll read their tweets, you'll have trolls all through the comments and they don't respond, and that's awesome. Like, because I also follow other people who would definitely like pick up their phone real quick and come back with a snarky comment. So I think that's the thing that you have to tiptoe around when actually having the discussion about social media.
Yeah. I just had an idea, and it was from you, and I think this is what you're trying to say, but it didn't click with me right away. So I'm gonna try to like put it into my own words. Maybe like it'll help. So like having a small scale influence. Like people talk about being an influencer and their motive is to be famous and like have people look up to them. But like think about, you know, you have social media and it's not just your friends and family. It is people from more diverse backgrounds. Even if you have a very undiverse social media, you're going to have other people in there. And you have the opportunity to have be an influencer of those people. And that's powerful, you know? I mean, we can really use that to our advantage. Yeah. We don't have to have 1 million followers to have an influence on somebody on social media. So just wanted to make that point.
It all comes on how you approach social media. Like, we're actually still in the early days of social media. Like, as crazy as that sounds, it's been around since, like, we were in middle school. But, like, on the grand scheme of things, it's a very young thing.
Yeah.
So we still have these, like, antiquated views of how to view it. Because, like, right when Facebook came out, people used it to share with their friends and family and their community because they didn't know how to, like, branch out and get followers in a different country. Like, that wasn't the goal. And so many people still use it in that way. I think everybody needs to kind of change how they go about social media, and that will just change the views on social media. Like with the influence thing of, like, if you go at social media being like, everything I do is going to have an influence on everybody that sees this. Like, I don't care if you have 10 followers or 10,000 followers, you're an influencer because you're influencing the people that see your content.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the social media needs to be approached in a different way. And the reason it's not is because we're still living in the past. We're still living in this antiquated view of what social media is.
Yeah. Do we want to get into any of the negatives of social media? I mean, I know we've touched on that, and it might be kind of like going over the same things, but
I mean, we can talk about the negatives. What I'll say about the negatives, though, if we focus on the positives, then the negatives are not going to matter.
Yeah.
If everybody starts to understand social media and approach it in a positive way, then the negatives will just kind of go away.
Well, let's.
Well, I don't know if they'll go away. I disagree on that. I think that you need to focus on the negatives because that way you'll learn from that, and then you focus more on the positives.
I agree with you, but I'm actually really interested on the positives because I don't look at social media in a positive light. So I'm actually learning a lot right now, like, because I feel like I can implement social media better in my life personally and from a business standpoint.
Well, yeah, definitely. But I just want to, like, warn people, like, it gets addictive. Like,
oh yeah, I
guess I mean certain things like the addictive part of social media. Yeah, that's something we can go into. But what I'm saying is, with anything, let's think of something that's not social media. Like if I'm thinking about, like, I have character flaws, like I have negative personality traits. You don't necessarily have to point out your negative personality traits and change them. You can just start trying to be more, like, trying to focus on your positive traits. And the reason things are positive is because they push out negative things. So if you're constantly being positive, you literally don't have to worry about the negative because they just go away, like, as an effect of that. So if people started being more positive about social media, there would be less negative to even worry about in the first place. So, I mean, yeah, so the addiction thing is one that's like, if you use social media correctly and in a positive way, like you say, I'm an influencer, everything I put on social media has a purpose, like, this is going to influence people, then you don't have to worry about the addiction because you can't get addicted to that. Like, if you're not saying, I'm posting this to get 1 million likes, you're saying, I'm posting this to influence people, you're not getting addicted to that. You can get addicted to the likes. I don't think you're going to get addicted to, like, being a good influence. Maybe you are, but
yeah. Have you guys seen Black Mirror?
Yes.
Did you see the episode
yes.
with Bryce Dallas?
Yes.
Howard? Dude, okay, so that is my perception of social media in the future. And I think
one second. If you haven't seen Black Mirror and you have Netflix, go watch all of Black Mirror. It's incredible.
But there's a lot of F-bombs. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of Is
it the one with the girl and she's, like, running, like, social? Okay, just go ahead and just talk about it. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
So you can ruin it for me, I guess.
It wouldn't ruin it. Like you
Yeah,
could
it's
you could
good.
know everything about this episode, and it's just incredible. Anyways, go ahead.
Do you want me to say about the episode, or kind of like?
Do it. I mean, whatever you're gonna say.
Okay, well, anyways, that's the way I see social media, and like in
Yeah.
my own cynical way, and that's the way I see it in the future, where everybody is just obsessed with how they are seen on social media,
Yeah.
and like it even goes outside of logic to where you might be a great person and do good things, but your social media doesn't reflect that, and so you're shunned basically.
Yeah.
And that's in this episode. You know, she's really nice and she's kind to people, but she has one event where she misses a flight and gets in a tiff with like the security officer, and he marks her down 2 rating points, and everything like, and then I'm not quoting this. I watched this like 4 months ago, so it's been a long time. And but anyways, what happens is she just like things just start doing bad because her rating's lower. She goes around to other people and they don't give her the same respect, and so she starts getting like really upset about that because people are telling her I can't talk to you, you know.
Yeah.
And then she gets her marks rated down even lower because these people see her as bad, and it's like it's just so, like I could see that happening, and that's why it was such a scary episode to watch. And
Jeez.
I just, you know, as good as social media can be, you know, tapping ourselves into this different world where we can create who we want to be, I think is too much power for some people. And for some people, I think it's a great tool, but for some people, I think it can become an obsession and become an alternate source of reality, and then that's dangerous territory.
Yeah.
Especially
I feel like
kids.
it's the opposite. I feel like not opposite in like that, but like opposite in like when you were making that example of like a good girl and then she's bad. So I feel like it's a lot of bad people that are making themselves out to be good people.
That's what I mean.
And like, well, yeah.
That's kind of like what I was alluding to.
And
I agree.
yeah, and exactly. Yeah. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I wanted to say. Like, I'm obviously much more passionate about the negative side because that's the way I've always seen it. But I do want to stress that, like, you know, there is positives. It's not all bad. And this is a fiction show.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's
it's
what,
not what's
what I'll
gonna
say
happen.
about that is I love that show and I love that episode because it's a cool way to like view an issue in a different light.
Yeah.
But what I've always been taught and learned is that you shouldn't use scare tactics to like change people's minds about things. So like the producers of that show might have been like, we're going to create this episode because we want people to start thinking about social media differently and like scare us away from that future.
Yeah.
But I've always been of the mind and always heard that like you shouldn't, like, for example, with Christianity, you're not supposed to lead somebody to Jesus by scaring them out of hell.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to say you're going to hell, you're a sinner. Like, you're supposed to give them the positive side. They can get to the negative side later. But so like I love that episode and everything, but I think it's dangerous to like talk about the negatives of social media in order to scare people away from it. I think it's better to talk about the positives and lead people towards the positives. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this episode was an extreme of the negative. Can we try to like think of an extreme positive, like what the world could be
Well,
like if they
here's the
embrace
thing,
social media?
You can't think of like. I agree with Clayton, but I also agree with you guys. Like, there's some people that need that negative to be like, okay, maybe I should chill out a little bit and just like look at this serious. And then other people need positive, like maybe I just need to get on Facebook more or Instagram more and post these pictures. That way, it'll influence me to go do something. Like, I look at it both ways. I don't look in like you know.
I'm of the mind that no
extremes.
one needs negativity to influence them. I think everyone can be influenced by positivity. It just might have to be gone about in a different way.
Yeah. No, what I was just saying, I just wanted to like do like a fun example of like what
Yeah.
social media would be like if, on the extreme standpoint,
Yeah.
like that show, but like for positive. Like what would the world be if social media was embraced correctly and we utilized it for the betterment of the world?
Well, I
And
don't think it's very hard to imagine that future when there are ratings and likes because they lead to that toxicity.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where you couldn't see how many likes somebody had on their picture. Like, you could go to a guy's, you can see how many followers. Say you can go to a guy's page, he has 1 million followers, but you go to his picture and you can't see how many likes he has, and you really just think this guy's a cool guy, and that's why you follow him. And if you know how many likes he has, and he only has 5 likes on his picture, there's something in your brain that tells you to unfollow this guy. It's like, he's not cool.
Yeah.
So like, I think the only like extreme positive, like if we're going as extreme as that episode of Black Mirror went, if we're going extreme positive, it's like we have to do away with this rating system that likes and retweets and all that. I think retweets are fine because that allows you to share things that you're interested in, but like likes and ratings is the negative part.
I like that
That's
idea.
interesting.
Because, like, I don't even like pictures anymore. I just look at it and be like, I like that.
Yeah,
but don't even like it.
And that's the thing that I find weird about a lot of people that I know that use social media. They'll scroll on Instagram and they'll double tap like every picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this false, like I don't even know if do they really like that picture. I like one picture out of every 300 I see. I'm like, dude, I really like, that's a cool picture. Or maybe some of the like bigger people I follow, I'll throw them a like. They've already got 50,000, so what's my like even matter? But it's an interesting thing, likes, man. But like the thing about likes is they all factor into the algorithms that these social media sites use in order to boost, like YouTube, for example. If your video has 100,000 likes, they're gonna pump that video out onto the trending page and like pump it out to people who don't even know you. So you can't survive in social media unless the like system is the way it is. I mean, as of right now, as of the way the algorithms work. So that's the scary thing about it, is like we're rewarding the people that have the most likes. And like, I could go post a really cool picture on Instagram. I have 300 followers, and that picture might be something that 100 million people would like.
Yeah.
But they're never gonna see it because, I mean, it's just a weird way the algorithms work.
Yeah. And if you think about it, you can actually hack it, like bots. Like, what if you made like bots to like your picture? Yeah, 100,000 times.
You can buy bots. You can
buy bots.
Yeah, like in India and Asia and stuff, they've got literal thousands of people who will sit at computers all day and create fake Instagram accounts, fake YouTube accounts, like your videos, and all this stuff. And like, that's the shady side of social media, because it's unethical, and it's also against a lot of these social media sites' terms of service. Like, if you ever found out, then you'll get in like legal trouble, because like if you do that on YouTube and you get this huge following on YouTube and brands start to sponsor you, and then they find out, oh, this was like, I don't know, a fake upcoming, then it's money's involved. It gets into legal weirdness. But that's crazy. But like, realistically, the majority of people aren't going to go buy bots.
No.
The irony is that the people that are buying bots are the hugest accounts. Like Selena Gomez has the most Instagram subscribers or followers right now, and I think it was like in the hundreds of millions that were inactive accounts. Yeah. Which some of those are people that probably just, stop using Instagram, but like that's not all of them. So they bolster their influence with more, because people are such sheep. They're like, they have the bandwagon, they jump on it and they follow. That's how it works.
It's just shady, because like, I don't know the legality of it, but like, if a brand writes a contract with you because you have 1 million followers and they give you X amount of money, well, blah blah blah, but really only 100,000 of those, like, that's dishonest.
Yeah.
And I mean,
it's plain old cheating. That's what it is.
It's cheating, but like, see, I don't know the legality, so I don't know if it's like there's a loophole in the law or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I say, I like to focus on the positives.
Yeah, I'm bringing us down into negative territory.
No, that's cool, because like, you do need to like be aware of the negatives. You need to understand what the negatives are.
Yeah. But
that shouldn't be like what you're fixated on. Like anything in life, like, there are negatives to like a lot of situations, but if you fixate on that, you're never gonna move forward. It's like it hurts your progression.
I mean, no matter how much I dislike social media, it's not gonna go away. And if I don't use it, then I'm gonna be a step behind the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So
I think there are definitely arguments that you don't have to have social media. I watched a TED Talk of a guy who said, like, you don't need to believe these people who are saying you have to have social media in 2018 or whatever. He was like, I literally don't have a Twitter. I don't have an Instagram. I don't have all this stuff. And he's like this successful dude who's got all these real world connections, blah, blah, blah. And that's totally a thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool to be involved in social media because you can be so connected.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to build a community online of people who want to have conversations of significance, discussions about interesting topics, and I can only do that through social media. So I have to start viewing it in a positive light, because if I'm like, oh, social media sucks, I hate it, then I'm never going to be motivated to create that community.
Yeah.
It looks like they're implementing laws as we speak of like how to deal with bots on social media.
Yeah, I mean, and they've been working on that since the dawn of the internet, basically. And it's just a weird legal thing of like, I don't know. I don't know any of that. I'm not researched on it, so I don't want to go into it too much.
A lot of just like right now, I don't think you can get in trouble with having bots.
Well, it depends on what you are, because like if you're a business and you have fake users and you're making money with those fake users, you can't get in trouble. But if you're just like a social media account and those fake users aren't necessarily like directly making you money, then it's in like the gray area of the law.
Yeah.
So it's weird. But I mean, okay, so we're about 50 minutes, so we need to kind of make some final remarks here.
What can we say? Can we just like put into words like some things that we can start implementing on social media, like to make it a positive experience for?
Well, it's all about changing your mindset, and like I'll probably say this literally every episode of this podcast we record. I'll make a comment about changing your mindset, because with everything you approach in life, it is going to be dictated by the mindset you have. So if you see social media in a positive light and you approach social media with a positive attitude, and everybody does that, which I don't think everybody in the world is going to listen to this podcast. That'd be really cool. But like if everybody started doing that, I think we would see social media change.
Yeah. I think this right here is a great example of a positive way to use social media.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're not doing this for fame and fortune. We're doing this because we were getting together anyways, and we were talking, and this is a great way to like get us to actually be productive. And it's something that we can show for our time, and it's challenging us. And so us recording this podcast right now, I think is a good example of using social media well, because social media is so much more than Instagram and Twitter. There's some really niche things out there. Like podcasts aren't that niche, but there's stuff even more specific than that. And you don't have to just use Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Social media is so much bigger than that, and it grows every day. Yeah. And just find your voice and find a way where you can incorporate technology into your life to make it better, because that's what technology is for.
Yeah, and for me not to say something negative, sorry, I've been like you
gotta have negative in order to have positive.
True.
Yin and yang.
But my positive for this would be like, if you have like, I don't know, like a lot of I see a good, like this is a great tool for creative people. Like if you're creative in terms of artistic work and you can draw like really good, put that on Instagram, put that on Twitter. If you're good at making funny videos and making people laugh, put that on Instagram, put that on Twitter. Look at if anybody's familiar with Teen Wolf, the dude that's the sidekick that's in all the Scorch Trials movies.
I don't know any of the stuff you're talking about.
Okay, well, if anybody knows the Scorch Trials, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Dylan O'Brien, he went from just being a YouTube guy that made like short 10-minute videos every day. He was like 11, 12 maybe. And when he turned 16, 17, like Hollywood like reached out to him and was like, "Hey, we like your stuff."
That's how Shawn Mendes got started. He just posted covers on YouTube.
Who's
Shawn Mendes? Like,
wait, isn't that how Justin Bieber was found?
Yeah. See, look at that.
So many people are being discovered on social media. So
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so
that is a positive thing to point out. Is like, if you have any artistic skill, or it doesn't even have to be artistic, any type of creativity, any type of skill, like just put it up on like.
It doesn't matter what you feel about it. Sometimes people are like, oh, I don't know if I want to.
Like I follow this guy. I don't know if y'all remember from high school, Chris Ferguson.
I know Ferguson.
You would know if you saw him, but like he has an Instagram.
Oh yeah, he's a gamer, right?
Yeah, he posts like he does retro gaming and like all these retro mods and stuff, and like it's a cool little niche topic, and he has a lot of knowledge on it. And he just puts himself out there, which I think is really cool. He's in my social media class. I don't know. I think he was doing all this before the social media class, so that's cool. But yeah, so just anything you're interested in, it's really cool to put it out there.
And don't be fearful of it. Don't worry about what people think about you. Just do it.
I will say, like, don't feel pressured to do social media, like, because social media can really stress people out, and like it's not for everybody. So like, even though we're saying view it in a positive light, do it if you want to. Like, don't feel pressured to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Implement it if you feel like it's gonna be positive on your life. Like, this podcast just kind of made sense because we were already meeting anyways, and instead of just hanging out and playing games the whole time, now we're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
And it's so much more rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't change our lives. It's not hard for us, and it's having a positive influence on us. So just fine.
Yeah. I'll say, if you ever have the opportunity to take a social media class, do it, because it pushes you, it challenges you, or just like make up your own thing of like require yourself to post something every week. Because like, I was a cynic about social media, but when I had to start doing it every week because of the class I'm in, it literally just changed my whole opinions. It made me look at it positively, and it started, creating some connections that I never would have had before.
Well, maybe me and Steven need to start doing that, because me and him are on the same level, as in we're not really posting much, we're not liking much. We're basically just using it as like, you look at it like, what, 10 minutes of your day is spent on that?
Yeah, probably.
And most people spend like an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, maybe we should use it more and see how we feel next week or something.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm inspired to use social media now.
Yeah,
So-
I feel like we always do this. We always say like what we should do, and next week we talk about it. That's good. I like that.
So I don't know. Hopefully by the time this episode comes out, we will have a social media account for this podcast. If that's the case, it'll be down in like the show notes. But as of right now, we don't know, because like the title of the podcast is really weird to like come up with a Twitter handle for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're
So
trying
Young
to.
Adult's Guide to Planet Earth, that'd be YAGPA, which is stupid.
Yakpa.
So we'll figure something out. But I'm pretty sure by the time this episode comes out, we will have a social media. So go follow me on Instagram at Clayton Hamrick. That's my personal account. What's your account, Hunter?
Huntman 098 or 098. That's what it is.
And I am Sid the Kid _.
So also, those will be down in the show notes too, so you don't have to like remember them. But also, we will have a podcast Twitter or whatever. So go follow that.
Should we do emails too?
No.
No, definitely not. I was just joking.
Get your notepads out. We're going to write our emails and phone numbers now.
Yeah.
No.
Would you like my phone number?
Here's my address to my house. my dog's name.
Come visit. Jump in the pool like everybody else.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
Okay, so you know what would be cool if anybody's listening to this episode and they had this spark of inspiration to interact with us, if you would go to that social media page, whatever it ends up being, it's down in the description. And, if you have any questions, just tweet them at us. Or if you have any statements, like the whole point of this is to start a discussion. And that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go do that.
And go with your friends and like challenge them to think about social media in a new light. Because that, like, literally, we're up here talking, but I learned a lot today.
Yeah.
So.
And the coolest thing you can do with social media that I feel like a lot of people don't do is engage with other people. Like you just throw up your own stuff and you leave it. Like, I'm just gonna go post on Instagram and then that's it. Engage with people, and engage with people that you don't know and that are like big. Like a couple weeks ago, I tweeted out a YouTube video I did, and I mentioned Thomas Frank in it, who has like 100,000 followers on Twitter, and he tweeted back at me. And I was like, what? That's crazy. This guy's semi-famous. But, like, it's just cool that you can interact with anybody. So, like, definitely interact more.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
With that said, we'll be back at you next week with yet another episode of Young Adult's Guide to Planet Earth. And
Godspeed. And oh, my God.
I was looking at both of you at the same time there.
I thought.
If I put my hand up, don't put your hand up to count, because then it's just going to throw everybody off.
Okay.
All right, am I going to do it?
Yeah, you're gonna.
That was me putting my hand up into my
Please
microphone.
don't cut this. I love this.
Okay,
This is
ready?
good.
Godspeed and good conversation. Thanks for listening to this episode of Young Adult's Guide to Planet Earth. We hope you enjoyed the conversation.
If you want to join the conversation, make sure to join us on Twitter at Young Adult Guide and Instagram at Young Adults Guide.
And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell if you want to be notified. Like, comment, and join the conversation.
Talk to you next week.